Welcome to College Recruiter, where we believe that every student and grad deserves a great career. I'm Anna Peters, Content Manager, and today I am joined by Jeff Dunn, Campus Relations Manager for Intel Corporation. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Glad to be here.
So today I'm going to ask Jeff about resume preparation, resume writing, and we're going to zone in and specifically focus on tips for female engineering students and recent grads so that they can hear some tips that are just for them, and how to stand out and how to get noticed really in the STEM fields. But I know Jeff is very passionate about preparing students and grads for their careers, so his advice can be used by just about anyone, really. So I want to make one more note that Jeff is part of College Recruiter's panel of experts, which is a group of professionals around the country who provide regular top-notch advice for job seekers and talent acquisition alike. So with that, Jeff, why don't we talk about some resume tips? First of all, how is a student supposed to know how she's supposed to stand out apart from other candidates?
Sure. So it's important on the top half of the first page of the resume to get noticed. Something that's going to stand out is going to be a statement that impresses the reader or that intrigues them, that they say, I want to find out more about this person. I want to hear more about the story. So it's good to have an objective to show focus, to show goals. It's good to have a summary of skills. If they're a student or a new grad, nice to have the education right up front so I know, is this person looking for an internship? Are they looking for full-time? And is there something special that makes me want to read further?
Something special. So everybody's got to think about what makes them special, right? What's an example?
For some it might be that they've got some internship experience in the field. For some it might be they've taken advanced coursework. For some it might be they've been a project leader several times. For some it might be honors student, great grades. But whatever it is that you think is your best strength, that should be right up front, so it's very easy for the reader to find.
That's good. So for people who think, well, I'm not, I'm doing a good job, but there's nothing special about me, it's to think about what is the best thing that you have going for you.
Everyone has strengths, and employers like my company, Intel, are not looking for 5-10 years experience from new grads. So I always advise students not to apologize for experience or things they haven't done yet. Be proud of what you've done. If you've taken coursework, if you've taken engineering that's cutting edge for the level you're at, be proud of that. Promote what you're good at. Promote your strengths.
Yeah. What are some common flags that you see on a resume that make you say, nope, that's the reject pile?
Well, obviously, if it's got typos or if it's a bad photocopy, that's going to be a negative. But more commonly is there's a lack of specifics. A very generic objective or no objective, something like looking for challenging opportunity where I can grow my career, really doesn't tell me anything. And then if I see positions experience and it just says I did technical work or I did work supporting customers, tells me nothing about the quality of your work. It would be like if Michael Phelps said, I'm a swimmer. It doesn't tell me anything about the quality or the quantity of the work that person's done.
Mm-hmm. So the key is to be specific.
Yeah, I want to see numbers. I want to see results and accomplishments.
Yep, good advice. What can a student put onto her resume besides that work experience?
Well, everything counts. So a lot of students don't have much work experience, at least paid work experience. But you can put community or volunteer work. You can put team projects that you've done, certainly the relevant coursework that you've done. Anything that helps you enhance your skills or makes you a better potential worker, awards you've gotten, anything like that is of interest to potential recruiters and hiring managers.
So to zone in on the engineering students, what are some examples of what might stand out? So other than work experience, you said project work before. What are some of the things that you would like to see?
Well, I'd like to see that they've given some thought to where they want to go. So for example, if you're a computer engineer, are you more interested in hardware or software? What is it that you can contribute? If you can help me narrow it down, that tells me what requisitions or what managers to connect you with. If you thought about what you're good at, are you good at coding? Are you good at testing, validation? If you have areas of strength, again, that helps me see some accomplishment, see what you're best at. And any employer is going to train you in some areas, but show me going in how you can help me save money or make money that's going to get my attention up front.
I think that's hard for students to transition from the college hat, to take off their college hat, their student hat, and put on the business hat, and wonder and realize what they actually have to offer.
And what we're looking for generally is, if you look at the whole resume, is some record of achievement, some record of accomplishment. So I want to see that someone is a team leader. I want to see that they've achieved, they've gotten good grades. I want to see that they've made a difference in their work or their community involvement. I want to see that they've learned, maybe they self-taught themselves some skills. But I want to see something that shows me they're a top performer in whatever level they've been.
So here's a question that is really, that gets to the gap, right? The gender gap that we see in STEM fields. And we all know, at least for large companies like Intel, the very first thing that sees a resume is a machine. It's not a person. So those applicant tracking systems, they use an algorithm to really scan through all these resumes. In your opinion, or at least based on your experience, is there something that young women out of college can change on their resume, while obviously still being honest, to get through those ATS, those systems that perhaps men have an advantage somehow? Any insight on that?
Well, the main thing is that if you think about how would you find your resume in a database of thousands of resumes without typing in your name? And for engineering positions, it's typically going to be technical keywords. So I'm less likely to type in, aggressive or assertive, which are typically traditionally male type qualities. I'm more looking at C++ or Verilog or architecture or graduate degrees. I want to know first, do they have the basic technical knowledge, not experience, by the way, but knowledge and skills. And then once a human being finds your resume from the database, then they're looking at the whole thing and they're reading soft skills, they're reading other achievements, and they're deciding, do I want to call this person for an interview? So I think if you load up on keywords, you're getting out of that black hole of a database and onto a human being screen where they can review your resume. And if there's something exciting or intriguing on the resume, that encourages them to call you and find out more.
Yeah. So that's good to know, actually. It's nice to hear that Intel doesn't necessarily unintentionally gender code their algorithm by using words like aggressive. But some position openings that you see out there, if you're looking for jobs and you find a job description that you're interested in, some of those positions have words that are like aggressive and might be what we call gender coded, or perhaps seem deemed masculine. So for the female students looking for those applying for those tech jobs or engineering jobs in the STEM field, it's good for you to know that whatever the job description may have, even if it does have adjectives that you don't identify with, those are the keywords that the company is looking for. Would you agree?
Well, I don't usually put like self-starter or initiative as a keyword. However, it's definitely among the skills that we look for in a phone interview, and I'd like to see them on a resume so that the technical words will get you to my attention on my computer. But what I like to see when I'm looking at the whole person is not just technical, but are they going to be a fit within the culture? And sometimes we need people that, can work with minimal supervision, some that can take initiative, not just wait for things to be done. So not only do you want to mention a couple of those things on the resume, but be ready to give examples of where, you can be assertive situationally when the job calls for it.
Yep, good. Is there anything else any general tips or specific tips for female engineer students that you would like to pass along?
Well, certainly the resume is a tool to get you to the interview. So you want to always, if you're sending out resumes and you're not getting interviews, You want to keep changing the resume until it gives you those results. And keep in mind that even the best resume sometimes gets missed for whatever reason, so it's always a good practice to follow up. Use LinkedIn, find some connections within the company, and make sure that you're getting either a referral or getting someone to pass your resume along to hiring managers so you can get to that human being that gives you that attention.
Good advice. Don't rely on the resume alone. Be proactive. Find people in the company to reach out to. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. And I think we'll leave it at that for today, but we are going to be checking in with Jeff again to discuss interviewing tips. So tune in to that conversation. Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
My pleasure.